Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Christiana Mausi. I would like to talk about few things that you must never do to your newborn baby. The first one is that make sure you are not breastfeeding less than 12 times in a day. In other words, try and breastfeed your baby at least 12 times in 24 hours or 12 times in a day. So that's basically every 2 hours. And if sometimes depending on the time of the day, the feeding pattern can change. And then sometimes the baby may want to breastfeed more often than usual. So sometimes the baby may want to breastfeed every hour. It's okay. And sometimes the feeding session may be longer than the other times. It's okay. Regardless of how long the feeding session lasts, the baby will always take what they need during every feeding. So it's okay, but make sure you are breastfeeding your baby at least 12 times, your newborn baby 12 times in a day. And usually as the child, as the baby hits 6 months and you begin to introduce the solid foods, you realize that the feeding becomes more like feeding on demand, because the baby has started taking in solid foods. So the baby is not sucking more often than usual. So study the pattern of your baby's feeding and make sure you are feeding the baby often to meet the baby's requirement. The next one is that you should never breastfeed your baby whilst lying on the side. I know, especially if you have a newborn, I know at night especially, you feel so tired, feel sleepy, and you may be tempted to breastfeed your baby whilst you are lying on the side. Please, it is a no. When you are lying on the side to breastfeed your baby, you could fall asleep, and the breast can suffocate the can press on the baby's nose and suffocate the baby and kill the baby. So please, no matter how tired you are, make sure you sit up to breastfeed the baby. Never lie on your side to breastfeed your baby. And also, do not breastfeed the baby whilst the baby is sleeping. The baby could easily aspirate, or choke on the breast milk. And then that could lead to pneumonia and then some other lung infections. So please do not, lie on your side whilst breastfeeding. The next tip is you should, avoid using baby powder, until the child reaches at least minimum 6 months. Do not use baby powder before 6 months. The powder, when the baby inhales the powder, it enters their lungs, and because of the fine particles, the fine nature of the powder, it could easily block the tiny air sacs in their lungs, and that could lead to serious infection and even difficulty in breathing for the baby. So please, as much as possible, avoid using powder for newborns or for babies before they reach 6 months. Even from 6 months going, when you want to introduce the baby powder, make sure you pour it in your hand and then you apply it on the skin away from the child's face, the nose. Before the 6 months, or before, if you are worried about the child's skin, not being dried or whatever, you can just take using soft towel to pat the skin dry, and then you apply some baby oil, low scented baby oil or unscented baby oil to the skin to keep it soft and smooth. So please, let's keep the powder away from the baby before 6 months. The next tip is that you should make sure you always put your baby on the back. The baby should sleep on his or her back. Never put your baby on the side or on the tummy, face down. It's a no. It leads to a condition known as sudden infant death syndrome. It is an unexplained death among a healthy baby. So the baby, you go to check on your baby and the baby is dead because the baby could not breathe because of the positioning. So please, it's a no-no. Baby must always lie on the back when sleeping. And then even that, you should always check on the baby whilst the baby is sleeping. And the baby should sleep in the same room with you, just that in a different, on his own bed or her own bed or crib. Then the crib should also be kept free from loose linens or these stuffed animals such as teddy bears and all this stuffed or extra pillow or linen. No, when you are going to put the baby in the crib, make sure you tuck in all the cot sheet or the linen tightly, and do not put any stuffed animal or soft pillows or any pillow at all. Anything in it should just be the baby. Even if you want to swaddle the baby, make sure it does not go beyond the shoulder of the baby, so that the baby does not suddenly pull any linen to cover his face and then suffocate and die. Then the next point is that you should not allow people to kiss your baby. Nobody should kiss your baby on the face, on the lips, no. The reason is simple. If somebody has a cold sore on the lip, cold sore, that is often caused by the herpes simplex virus. And that infection is not curable and is highly contagious. You can get it by coming in contact with the sore on the person's lip. So if the person kisses your baby, they infect the baby, innocent baby, with herpes, and it's for life. It cannot be cured. So please, do not allow any visitor to kiss your baby, or even family members to kiss your baby. It's a no-no. And then please try and control your visitors. Some people, when they have babies, they want people to come and all that. No. The baby's immune system is not yet developed well. So you are exposing baby to, infection. And please, when you visit a baby, make sure you wash your hands with soap and water, clean, before you touch baby. If you are sick, do not visit any newborn baby and the mother. Please stay away. Just give an excuse and stay away until you are okay. Especially if you have common cold, do not visit any newborn baby. The baby's immune system is not yet strong. It's not yet fully developed. So you going there will introduce infection, and you can imagine the discomfort that you will give to that newborn baby. So please, these are some tips that as mothers, especially the new moms, you should consider as you handle your baby. And then the last one, before I forget, is the clothing. Do not swaddle your baby in hot weather. No. Make sure the clothing you use you wear for the baby fit or match the environment. If it's a hot temperature environment, the weather is hot, make sure you use cotton breathable clothes for the baby, and you don't need to cover the head. And it's also important not to cover the head of the baby when the baby is asleep. Sometimes they can be moving their hands and then pull that little hat or cap, and then it covers the face. If you are not there, that could suffocate the baby and kill the baby. So these are some tips for you to consider as you take care of your newborn baby. So thank you, and please watch out for more videos. Bye.